morning and welcome to the program. It's Talk Sport on Global Television, and we're ready with all the big stories making the rounds from the exciting world of sport. My name is Anthony Momodin, King of Sport, and I've got all the big stories that will make your day truly sporting. We'll be taking you around the globe and definitely the African continent, where CAF yesterday held its ordinary meeting in ways of trying to direct African football to the right direction. We'll also be giving you some other big stories concerning the Flamingos, where the coach once again has said the girls would deliver the goods as we look at the quarterfinals of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. We'll also be taking a look at some Nigerian players that might be moving in the January transfer window, talking about players like Samuel Chukwueze and Cole. We'll be looking at what awaits for them in January as Everton looks to prize Samuel Chukwueze from AC Milan. Would that be a good move is a big question to be asked. We'll also be focusing today on the most valuable teams in the African continent. Already you know your darling Super Eagles is one of those big teams, so we'll be looking at the rankings of the big teams in the African continent, and also globally we'll look at which teams are the big teams and which players make those big teams. Today is going to be a very interesting one. We've got in the studio also we'll be taking the head coach of Refined Nuggets Football Club Academy right here in the Federal Capital Territory, Onamba Raphael is his name. We'll be taking him after this very quick break. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, we'll hit our discuss button and give you all the big stories you need to know. Stay with us.
Time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Beautiful work from the wingers.
for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Oh, that
Welcome back. Still Talk Sport, and it's time for us to get into the big stories making the rounds. Let's take you to the Confederation of African Football. I already told you earlier on that yesterday CAF did hold its meeting as regards taking issues one after the other as regards all the things playing out. But the big story this morning is that the Confederation of African Football will on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, announce its decision on the botched AFCON qualifying group D game between Libya and Nigeria, which was scheduled for Bene Matthias Stadium on October 15th. Punch reports that according to Libya Al channel, the Apex Continental Football Body will announce the final decision regarding the players' deal during the first leg in October, which ended 1-0 in favor of the Super Eagles, and the reverse fixture that would have held at the 10,550,000 capacity Libya first all-seater. The outlet also revealed that the Libyan Football Federation submitted all the documents it collected with a specialized lawyer assigned by the body to supervise the Libyan file with the Confederation of African Football. A day after the botched counter, CAF delisted the fixture from its calendar after announcing its cancellation hours before kickoff, with the matter referred to the disciplinary committee for consideration. In its statement on Monday, the Libyan Football Federation denounced the measures taken by the Nigerian side regarding the team's refusal to play its match against Libya. The federation confirmed that it would take all legal measures to preserve the interests of the national football team. Meanwhile, Nigeria had arrived for the match on Sunday, October 14, only for the flight to be diverted to Al Barak International Airport, a way that's exactly 3 hours away from the road to Benghazi, the venue of the proposed match. The Libyan authorities held them captive for approximately 17 hours, leaving them traumatized as they flew back to Nigeria. But that's so some big decision will be taken by CAF tomorrow. I will get to know the fate of the Super Eagles or the Mediterranean Knights. Would Nigeria be getting the 3 points, or would they call for a replay at a neutral venue? That will be the big decision for CAF to take tomorrow at its meeting. All right, let's move on from CAF. Let's talk about the market value. Super Eagles' squad value soars to 282 million euros is a big story this morning. After dropping 3 straight times, the Super Eagles have finally seen their squad value rise in the transfer market. Reports reaching us says rated among the Super Eagles is rated among the most valuable teams with a total of 465.90 million euros. In January, the Eagles' value dropped to 252 million euros. In July, a drop that also affected their global rankings. However, according to the latest transfer market report, Nigeria's squad value has risen to 281 million euros. The Eagles dropped in previous edition hinged on Victor Osimhen's absence from the team that faced South Africa and Benin Republic in the last phase of the 2026 World Cup qualifying. Meanwhile, CAF qualifying series that saw them claim just 1 point from the possible 6, which saw the 3 times African champions suffer a massive drop to 91 million euros, their second huge drop this year. Meanwhile, Osimhen once again missed the African Cup of Nations qualifier against Libya earlier this month. The return of Taiwo Awoniyi, Chidera Ejuke, and the rise in Victor Boniface value helped the team move up in the latest release by the Finance Expert website. They moved up by 7 steps and are now ranked the 19th most valuable international team in the world. While they are yet to reclaim their number 1 position as the most financially valuable team in Africa from Morocco, they now occupy the 2nd position, 2 steps above their previous rankings. The Super Eagles boast players who ply their trade in Europe's lucrative leagues. Despite the rise, it is surprising that the team has a mega value of just 282 million euros, which according to the official exchange rate of the Naira to the Euro on Monday is just 177 million, amounting to at the rate of 1,775 Naira, amounts to 500 billion Naira. Meanwhile, in July, they were placed 26th in the market value of 252 million euros, but the squad value has witnessed an increase of 30 million euros compared to the squad's previous value. Not only was Osimhen's absence felt on the pitch during Nigeria's slender win over Libya in Uyo, he was also omitted from the transfer market list, which was a major factor in the massive reduction in the squad value as the striker boasts of a huge 75 million euros market value. Meanwhile, Bayer Leverkusen sensation Victor Boniface is currently the team's most valuable player following his latest rise. The striker has a market value of 45 million euros, 5 million euros more than Atlanta's Ademola Lookman, who is the 2nd most expensive player. Meanwhile, Maduka Okoye's fine start to the 2024-2025 season has seen the Udinese goalkeeper witness a rise of 3.5 million euros to take the value to 7.5 million euros. Okoye has the highest value among the 3 goalkeepers included in the squad by transfer market, while Stanley Nwabali and Amos Obasoge, who played for Benin Insurance, according to the website, are both valued at 550,000 euros, and that's 60,000 euros respectively. In defense, aside from Calvin Bassey and Olaino, whose values stand at 16 million euros and 12 million euros respectively, no other defender is worth 10 million euros, while Bright Osayi Samuel, the nearest, is with 8 million euros. William Trust Ekong, the captain of the team, is valued at 2 million euros, while Semi Ajayi is valued at 1.5 million euros. Merely 3.5 million combined together, while Moses Simon, Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Lukman, Taiwo Awoniyi, Frank Onyeka, and Al Hassan Yusuf all maintain their previous values. Meanwhile, Kelechi Iheanacho unsurprisingly suffered a drop in the market value, which currently stands at 9 million euros. Meanwhile, the Super Eagles continue to trail Morocco, who, despite the massive drop of 75 million euros, still boast a squad of 325 million euro squad value. The education in their market, in the reduction in their market value, saw them drop 2 places to now rank 16th globally. Meanwhile, Senegal are 2nd on the continent with a value of 276 million euros, while African Cup of Nations winners Ivory Coast were 2nd in Africa in July and now 3rd on the continent and 25th globally with a value of 245 million euros. Meanwhile, Ghana has a squad value of 228 million euros and Cameroon 179 million euros, occupy the 4th and 5th positions respectively. Meanwhile, England retained their position as the most financially valuable team in the world with a market value of 1.34 billion euros, while France dislodged Brazil to occupy the second position with 1.06 billion euros squad value. Portugal follows with 972 million euros and Netherlands with 778 million euros. And we've got Brazil with 767 million euros, completing the top 5 national teams in the world. All right, now you know the market values of the Super Eagles and other teams in the African continent. We'll go for a quick breakdown. When we return from the break, we'll be looking at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, and I'll be introducing my guest in the studio. Stay with us.
For sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Got that goal! Beautiful work from the wingers!
Welcome back from the break. Let's focus on the Flamingos, where Flamingos head coach Bankole has assured that his team will make Nigeria proud by achieving impressive results at the 2024 FIFA Women's Under-17 World Cup in Dominican Republic. The Flamingos have been in blistering form in the South American nation, winning their first 2 games, scoring 8 goals and conceding just 1. Bankole's side began the tournament with an emphatic 4-1 win over New Zealand in the Group A opener at the Cyber Stadium in Santiago, and followed that up with another impressive 4-0 victory over Ecuador on Saturday. The emphatic victories made Nigeria, who sits top of Group A, have qualified for the quarterfinals phase of the competition with a game to spare. Nigeria came into the tournament with high expectations after their impressive 3rd place finish at the 2022 edition in India, and Bankole said that his team would make Nigeria proud. Nigeria will hope to make it 3 wins from 3 as many games and end the group stage with a 100% record when they face the Dominican Republic in their final group game at the Estadio Stadium on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. The Flamingos finished third in the last edition in India, have participated in every edition of the competition since its inception in 2008, reaching the quarterfinals in 2010, 2012, and 2014. All right, this is where I bring in my guest in the studio. His name Raphael Unamba, the head coach of Nuggets Football Club, and he's just arriving from Cairo, where he went to do some deals as regards one of his female star players moving to Egypt to go play the round later game. Nice, welcome back from the land of the Pharaohs. How was the trip?
It was excellent. We thank God for a successful trip, and I'm happy to be back.
All right, let's look at the Flamingos. How would you, I know Bankole is a very good friend. How would you assess Bankole's Chargers, and how were they done? First 2 games, 2 victories.
Yeah, congratulations to Flamingos, the entire team, the squad, Coach Bankole and his assistants. You know, one thing about football is all about dedication and commitment. You know, Bankole Oluokere is someone who has been planning a long time ago. You know, he's someone I work with. It's someone I know in and out. It's someone I have known for decades, not just years. So I think with the results we are getting so far, I'm not really surprised about what Nigerians are doing, because if you look at the preparation, these girls have been working real hard. Bankole is a coach that actually took his time, you know, go to all club sites in Nigeria, you know, searching for good talent to see how he can deliver better than the previous last World Cup. And remember, he was the first coach to win bronze medal at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. That was the last World Cup. And this time around, his target is to get to the final, not just get into the final, but to win. So far, so good. I'm not surprised about the performance of the Flamingos, because their preparation was massive and they got the best support from the NFF.
Okay, let's look at in terms of meeting stronger teams in the qualifying knockout stages now. How careful should the Flamingos be? Because now we're going to be meeting tougher teams in the knockout stages, and either you win or you go home. Do you think there's need for him to also be cautious, and for the players not to get overexcited with the result they've gotten so far?
Now, the key word is focus. These girls are in high shape, they're in high spirit, they're highly focused. And another thing I want you to know is that no team is minor in this tournament. Even if those that we were winning 4-0, 4-1, they are also stronger team from their own continent as well. But have it in mind that Coach Bankole is an experienced coach. He has been there before. He won the likes of US, and I think hopefully we'll be meeting US, because I think they are coming out second in their group. So I think meeting US for the second time again, I think is going to be a win-win for Nigeria. But talking about stronger team, I think the only stronger team there is Spain, which I believe with what I've seen so far, Nigeria can actually match up with Spain. And by the special grace of God, the cup is coming to Nigeria.
For you, what do you think is the strong point of the Flamingos?
The strong point is that they have this depth. I love their transition. I love their determination. The defense line is massive, a very solid defense line. For the first time, I'm seeing a very young, fresh, energetic, and hard-working players that are fast. Their pace is massive. These girls are good to go. They are well-grounded and well-groomed.
All right, let's just quickly, just to get your take. I know you were not in town when we had the Libya-Nigeria crisis. For you, what are your expectations for tomorrow when CAF makes its decision?
Yeah, I might actually not be in town, but have it in mind that some of the NFF officials are my friends. I viewed their status. I saw even what Coach Aaron Olerika, former Super Eagles coach, former Nigeria Under-15 coach, and who is current FA secretary in Abuja. Yes. I saw his post. I was seeing everything live. You know, most of the times media don't see most of the things on media. You know, because and these guys were out of. I think there was no connection for them to like access the internet and all of that. But aftermath of the incident, I saw everything that happened. What Libya did to Nigeria was very wrong, and I believe CAF. I strongly believe that CAF is going to find them, and the match should be taken to another country.
All right, let's just give you some update as regards the MPFL. So we'll be looking at MPFL result, and also we'll be looking at MPFL fixtures. Let's move on and tell you that match day 8 result in the Nigerian Premier Football League witnessed some interesting result as the MPFL promises exciting fixtures in the 2024-2025 season following the result of the match day 8 result in the 2024-2025 Nigerian Premier League which was played yesterday. The dates of the remaining fixtures are also there. Let's say that Ikorodu City FC trashed Lobby Stars by 4-2, while up Shooting Stars of Ibadan peeped Casino United 1-0. It was Niger Tornadoes of Mina losing at home to Rivers United, and Aqua United playing out a goalless draw with the Flying Antelopes. You call them Enugu Rangers. Those are the result of matches that were played yesterday, as you can see on your screen. All right. Following the match day 9 fixtures would be played on October 26th. These are the fixtures to come in the MPFL. We've got Lobby Stars of Makurdi, where Governor Hyacinth Alia is doing a great job at renovating Dakwaku Stadium. Lobby Stars will be filing out against Bayelsa United, and it's the Arsenal of Nigerian football, Bender Insurance FC, will trade tackles with Abia Warriors from Aba. It will be Shooting Stars of Ibadan. Yes, Shooting Stars, we call them 3FC also. They will be hosting Aqua United, as Aqua United looks to deem the Stars from Ibadan. Nasarawa United will host Kano Pillars in the next game, while Rivers United will take tackles with my favorite team, Academy Warriors of Meduguri, and that's going to be a very titanic battle between those two teams, talking about Rivers United and Academy Warriors. All right, those are the fixtures of matches to come in the MPFL. Let's move on to, these are other matches to come. Also, we've got a Heartland of Owerri taking on Remo Stars, and Eyimba Faba, that's Eyimba International People's Elephant, with trade tackles with Ikorodu City FC. Kwara United, you call them the Afonjo Warriors, with trade tackles with Enugu Rangers, and Casino United we host Niger Tornadoes in another fixture. Then Plateau United will look to see how they will deem the Sunshine Stars of Akure. Those are the fixtures of matches to come. All right, let's move on to some transfer news and tell you that Everton are plotting January move for AC Milan winger Samuel Chukwueze as they look to bolster their attacking options. The Merseyside club are currently sitting 16th in the Premier League table, are keen to strengthen their squad in the upcoming transfer window to avoid another relegation battle. Sources closer to the club have revealed that Chukwueze, who has been on Everton's radar before, is a prime target for the manager Sean Dyche. The 25-year-old has struggled for regular playing time at AC Milan this season under new coach Paulo Fonseca, with 6 of his 8 appearances in all competitions coming from the bench. We're talking about Chukwueze. This limited game time has fueled speculation about his future at the San Siro, despite recently ending a 8-game goal drought with a match-winning strike against Udinese on Saturday. Chukwueze joined Milan from Villarreal in the summer of 2023 for a reported 20 million euros plus bonuses, making him the club's most expensive signing of that transfer window. However, the winger has found it challenging to replicate the form that made him a standout performer in the La Liga, managing just 4 goals in 41 appearances for the Rossoneri. All right, let's look at issues around Chukwueze before we go for a break. Chukwueze, would you say moving to Everton would be a good move for him, or he should stay put in AC Milan and fight for his shirt? Do you think he doesn't have the quality to play for AC Milan?
He actually has the quality to play for AC Milan, but Italian Serie A is a very tough league. It's not a league where you can easily pass or bypass the defenders or outrun them. That's the right word to use in football. But I think going to Everton is going to really help him because it's more of a basic kind of game, and they have this high tempo when it comes to attacking football. And, Serie A, their pace is not that much. It's only when you're kind of having a counter-attack.
So how come he cannot be there? I mean, their pace is not that much. How come he's...
Because they don't give you that much space to penetrate in, to drive in. That drive, they won't give you that space. You can imagine you playing with the likes of top defenders in the Italian Serie A. It will be so difficult for you as an attacker to outrun them. But I think going to Everton is going to really help him because England, they are more of a competitive team, There is going to bring out his best, and I think their style of play is going to suit him.
Okay. All right, before we let you go, let's take another story concerning Brazilian star Neymar has finally made his return to football pitch after over a year out with ACL injury. The 32-year-old joined the public investment fund owned by Al Hilal in 2023 to bring an end to his time at Paris Saint-Germain in the £78 million move that came as something of a shock. Despite making headlines for his decision to move to Saudi Arabia, Neymar had been restricted to just 5 games for his new club before picking up the injury during the international break last year. However, on Monday evening, he made the long-awaited 6th appearance for his club after coming off the bench during their dramatic 5-4 win over rivals Al Ain in the AFC Champions League Elite, which is ironically abbreviated to be the ACL Elite. Footage showed the Brazilian in good spirit as he walked along the touchline before being substituted in the 77th minute, 369 days after his last outing for the club. For Neymar, do you think he still has something to offer? Though in that game he showed some flashes of his old self. Do you think Neymar still have something to give to football?
Thank God he's in Saudi Arabia. I would have even advised him to go and join Messi at Inter Miami, and so that he can play with the likes of his ex-teammates, which are Suarez and co. But looking at Neymar, I think his lifestyle affected him. He lives the life of the party, and he's not that disciplined. Compare Messi lifestyle, compare the lifestyle of Ronaldo, compare the lifestyle of Ibrahimovic. These are still active players that even during their prime and when they are aging, they were still delivering. Hardly you see them go on injury. But Neymar is more of a club guy, balling and chilling and forgetting that he is a role model. So that is one of the factors that actually affected. And remember, there are a lot of propaganda surrounding Neymar. If not that, they had to settle some of the ish behind closed doors. So I think his lifestyle affected him, and he's in the place that actually suits his kind of style of play, which is Saudi Arabian League.
All right, let's look at Bayern Leverkusen before you go. Everybody's looking out wanting to get Xabi Alonso as their next coach. Where do you think Xabi Alonso should go?
I think he should stay one more season.
In Bayern Leverkusen?
In Bayern Leverkusen. And see if he can still win maybe a Champions League, or who knows.
All right, before we let you go, just give us update as regards Refined Nugget. What should we be expecting from Refined Nugget Academy?
As usual, our aim is to always groom players from the grassroots, discover talents, scouts for players, redefine their career. That's why we Refined Nugget, and above all, hope for the best.
All right, so that's what the Refined Nugget head coach and the person of Rafael Onamba has in store, and hopefully we will expect them to unearth more talents, more flamingos that will do us proud at any continental tournament. We'll go for a quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be talking about all the grassroots football tourneys taking place in the FCT, and also give you some other big story concerning coaches and other football stars. I will also be looking at tennis, boxing, and other sports after this break. Stay with us.
for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Oh, that goal! Beautiful work from the wingers!
All right, welcome back here from the break. It's still Talk Sports on Global Television, and we're still giving you all the big stories making the rounds. And while we went on a quick break, we also had some substitution done in-house here as we subbed one great coach for another club official. But before we introduce our guest, let's just give you the story concerning the Bayer Leverkusen team, where Bayer Leverkusen are preparing for Xabi Alonso's exit in the summer. According to reports, Alonso is one of the world football's most in-demand coach after a hugely successful season with Bayer Leverkusen that saw them win the Bundesliga title unbeaten. The German side also won the DFB Pokal and reached the final of the Europa League where they were defeated by Atlanta. Alonso turned down the chance to replace Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool in the favor of staying with Leverkusen. The 42-year-old current deal ends at the end of the 2025-2026 season, but he is expected to leave in the coming summer, according to Sky Germany. Meanwhile, Manchester City are said to be showing concrete interest in Alonso, with Pep Guardiola's future at the Etihad still uncertain. Guardiola's contract at the City is due to expire at the end of the season, and he is here to commit his long-term future to the club. Meanwhile, Alonso is also candidate for the former club Real Madrid, despite Carlo Ancelotti's current deal ending in 2026. Meanwhile, the Spaniard played 236 times for the La Liga Giants and was part of the side that won the Champions League in 2014. Let's also let you know that Leverkusen are already looking for Alonso's successor with Stuttgart boss Sebastian Hoeneß and Germany assistant manager Sandro Wagner among those being considered. Leverkusen currently sit fourth in the Bundesliga with 3 points points behind leaders Bayern Munich after 8 matches. Alonso's side came from behind to beat Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1 on Saturday, thanks to goals from Robert Andrich and Victor Boniface of Super Eagles out of Nigeria. Nice to say that when you're talking about any player that has to do with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. All right, before I bring in my guest again, who is itching to make his debut like a striker would want to make his debut for his team, let's take you to Old Trafford, where it's good news for Manchester United fans, as Manchester United's £52 million summer signing Lenny Yoro has returned to training on the grass at Carrington for the first time since fracturing his metatarsal against Arsenal in the preseason. Yoro was injured half an hour into the game against the Gunners at the Sophie Stadium in July, just 10 days after completing his move from Lille in time to make his debut against Rangers and join United's summer tour of the US. The Frenchman was ruled out for approximately 3 months after surgery, and United gave an update on his rehab on Monday. The club posted a video of Euros starting. Yes, I hope my producer can show us the pictures of Lenny Yoro warming up for getting back to training. The club posted a video of Yoro stating an individual training program outdoors in Carrington and say that he will be managed carefully so he can rejoin the main group in the next few weeks. The video also showed a 18-year-old performing series of exercise in the gym. All right, and the last story we're going to take here before I drag in my guest in the studio, I'm taking you to Anfield, where they say they never walk alone. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk has confirmed he is in talks about extending his stay at Anfield, praising Arne Slot's extra focus on defense as reason for his blistering start to the season. Van Dijk, who is out of contract in the summer, along with Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold, hasn't let uncertainty over his future interfere with the leading Liverpool to the top of the Premier League. Slot has won 10 of his first 11 games as Jurgen Klopp's successor in all competitions, and Sunday's 2-1 win against Chelsea kept them a point ahead of Manchester City. And this is where I'm introducing my guest. His name, Afam Okafor. He is one of the executives of the Like Minds Football Club, grassroots football club in the FCT. And so happy to have you here. Afam, thank you for joining me in the studios.
Thanks for having me.
All right, I just wanted to know, Virgil van Dijk is 33 and he's looking to extend his contract to Liverpool. Are you 33? Are you likely to extend your contract to Like Minds Football Club?
Well, I am way ahead of Virgil van Dijk. More or less like 10 or 11 years older than he is.
Oh boy. Yeah. Do you think he stands, Liverpool should give him more time because he seemed to be still at his best?
Yeah, Van Dijk is a great player, and I think he should still stay with Liverpool because he's doing very well there. Not just with Liverpool, but even across Europe, Van Dijk would be seen as one of the best defenders in Europe and even globally.
Okay, then taking you back to the story we talked about, Xabi Alonso leaving Bayer Leverkusen, wanted by Real Madrid, wanted by Man City. Is he easier? Which do you think should be easier for him to take? Which of the jobs?
Well, for me, I think Alonso is a club legend in Liverpool. He did very well with Liverpool, and if you ask me, because Arne Slot is doing very well with Liverpool now, I think his best bet would be to go to Spain, to Real Madrid. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to talking. We're looking at Like Minds grassroots football. Let's say keeping fit and promoting unity. That's our main discourse this morning. Let's look at the importance of grassroots football, keeping fit, and such tourneys around from time to time for players like you who are now 40 plus, how important it is to have, football at the grassroots level, also using those football tourneys as a way to remember colleagues and friends around and just promote unity and keep fitness.
Grassroots football is one of the ways in which football can be developed.
Okay.
And so emphasis should be on not just growing talents from that level, but also investing funds to make sure that those talents that are grown at that level are funded so that they can go and grow higher in football. So if you ask me, for people like us, we no longer are looking for titles
or to be called in the national team.
To play for Chelsea tomorrow. But what we do is just to keep fit. It's important that once you are above 30, you do some of these things to keep fit, especially if you consider the health benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why we are still doing what we're doing.
Okay, still talking football clubs and academies across. Would you say Nigeria is doing well in terms of investment? If you look at in the 80s, early 90s, the way academies and the way football clubs used to be, would you say we're having the same growth when it comes to football?
The growth of football in Nigeria, if you compare from the time you mentioned, like in the 80s and now, I think we're doing better now than we did in the 80s.
Serious, when we had the likes of Henwosu and these great
then
players.
The thing is, those were natural talents. But if you check what is happening now, there's more funding in football now in Nigeria than we used to have. Right? I don't remember if we had any academy in the 80s, any football academy in the 80s.
But they had all these other school tournaments.
Because if you look at it now, across all levels, if you go to different states in the country, you would find that football academies, you will find state-sponsored football academies, you would also find privately owned football academies. There is still so much to be done, right? I'm not saying we're there yet, but compared to the 80s, I think the growth trajectory, is doing well.
All right, for the Like-Minded Football Club, over time you have various tourneys and for your keeping fit and all that. How important are these tourneys for 2024?
Well, they're very important. In Like Minds, we started this annual tournament in 2020 when we used the opportunity of that tournament to honor one of our own who lost his life sometime in 2019. That was the first. And the one of 2024 would be the fifth in the series. And for this year's tournament, we have labeled it the Honorable Chidimma Obeta's tournament. Chidimma Obeta is one of our own. He is an honorable member representing Nsukka Igboeze South constituency at the National Assembly.
Okay.
So this year's tournament is in his honor, and we would also use that not just to keep fit, but also promote some of the things Honorable
in
is
terms
doing.
of sport?
Yes, he is. Like I said, I told you, we agree that there's more funds and sponsorship in football now. Chidimma is doing so much, not just in Abuja here, but even from his constituency.
In Nsukka.
Yes. Last year, we even played a match in his honor in his constituency there. So he's doing so much for grassroots sports, and he's doing so much by way of funding and the rest of it.
All right, as we wrap up, let's look at, in terms of developing sports now, we've got our young girls in Dominican Republic, the Flamingos. Are you impressed with how far they've gone, and what are your expectations?
Well, I think they are doing well. They are doing very well, and our prayers and support will still be with them. We hope they will come out. I heard they are in the knockout stages now.
Quarterfinals.
I think they will do well. They've done well so far, and we wish they will come back with the trophy.
All right, just before I run off to the studio, let me just give you one more story. I've told you about Lenny Yoro and Van Dijk also hoping to extend his. But just a quick story about Donald Trump before we wrap it up. Just to let you know that Donald Trump insists on calling women's Olympic gold medal boxer Imani Khelif a man during an interview with WWE legend The Undertaker. Khelif, who won gold in the women's welterweight category at the Paris Olympics this summer, was allowed to compete at the Games despite being banned from the 2023 World Boxing Championship for allegedly failing the gender eligibility test. So that's Donald Trump always getting controversial issues there. All right, that's how I'm going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program, Talk Sports. My name is Anthony Momodi. I want to say a big thank you to Alpha Mokafo from Like Minded Football Club right here in Federal Capital Territory. Thank you for for joining me in the studios. And not forgetting the head coach of Refined Nuggets Football Club and the person of Ralph Onamba, who also joined me in the live studios. Let's do this again tomorrow. We'll bring you other big stories making the rounds in the exciting world of sports. Good morning.